Yeah.
Kotaku,
Kotaku,
a video game website, says, quote, in an interview with Strawberry Acai Refresher News, they did not add that part in, I did, quote, one of Japan's biggest newspapers, Nintendo president Tatsumi Kimishima pointed out that when companies license out their characters for movies, they don't directly spend money, and mention how the picture or image business would be a new venture after the Mariners sales is finally closed. Because this is reflective now that they've sold the Mariners, they have the money and the gumption, if you will, to get into the showbiz thing. Strawberry Acai Refresher News says,
and like $10 billion in the bank, right? So they've kind of always,
yeah,
if they wanted to.
Strawberry News says, is the picture or image business the movie business? Kimishima responds, quote, movies are representative, but it's also making videos and releasing them in various countries and whatnot. It's various businesses. Now, we're talking to various partners. It's the not too distant future. I'd like to get some sort of form ironed out. Strawberry Acai News responds and says, quote, in the past, there was that Super Mario movie. Kimishima replies, quote, the box office receipts on that weren't so good. But this time, rather than licensing, our current thinking is that we'd like to do as much as we can ourselves. Strawberry Acai Refreshing News says, quote, as for your partner, is that like a Hollywood movie company? Kimishima says, quote, something like that. It doesn't necessarily need to be Hollywood, and once it's been decided where it will be, then at that time we can talk about it. However, I want to do this thing together with a partner who is able to take things globally. And then Kotaku notes that this isn't a confirmation, but Nintendo does have a partnership to bring its characters to Universal Studios in Japan. And I had thought about that before I read that from Kotaku. I was really hoping we could take credit for that speculation. Kotaku! Dag nabbit, you video game website. You beat me to it.
Yeah.
Gawker Media, you son of a guns. You know how to get the news out there. Strawberry Acai News says, quote, so, will you do another live action movie? Kimishima says, quote, we've done that before, so probably not a live action one. Once again, Kotaku notes, recently there have been rumors of a live-action Pokemon movie. I think Pokemon and any of this Nintendo stuff is unrelated. Me personally.
Yeah.
I think Pokemon completely operates on their own accord.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's related at all. Koppai disclaimer. But Kotaku wanted to throw that out there. Strawberry Acai News says, will it be something like Disney or Pixar then? Kimishima replies, quote, because we have IPs, we're thinking we could also do something like that. It is something to keep in mind as we make all this concrete. Strawberry Acai Refreshing News says, quote, will you announce the work sometime this year? Kimishima says, quote, I cannot definitely say this year as we're currently in the talks. If funds flow in this year, I'm saying I'd like to put that money to use. And I'm not saying I'd like to use it 5 years in the future. I want to implement it before then. Strawberry Acai Refreshing News says, quote, the movie is going to be something like Super Mario or Legend of Zelda? Just saying, Strawberry Acai News, you know the questions to ask. Kimishima responded, quote, I want to use an IP that is popular with everyone. Lock that in your brains, folks. I want to use an IP that is popular with everyone.
That's E for everyone.
E for everyone.
P for popular.
And so this is going to be one that they're not going to be digging in the trenches here. This is going to be one there. This is something big. But Kimishima says, quote, I'm not saying it's going to be Super Mario.
Oh.
I'm only saying we'll put out something that everyone knows very well. So, because people will jump and they're like, everyone knows Mario.
Zelda,
But he's saying, yeah. Everyone knows Zelda. Everyone may not know Pikmin though. You know, I mean, so it's you gotta take all that into consideration. We're gonna talk about it all though. Strawberry Acai goes on to say, quote, if you're gonna do a movie, I think you'd move forward with The Legend of Zelda, which is especially popular abroad. Kotaku notes that last year there was a report of a Legend of Zelda Netflix TV series, which we've already talked about. Come on, Kotaku. And then Kimishima said, Kimishima said, quote, we're certainly aware that there is an immense demand for that one. And then Strawberry Acai News says, correct. Huge. The Nintendo executive, Kotaku, says, went on to point to the Pokemon movie, stating, quote, it's not like this is a realm we're inexperienced with. And it's also good to note that Kimishima, prior to being the president of Nintendo, he was leading Pokemon, the Pokemon company. So he knows how to do
I had
Pokemon
forgotten
movies.
about that, but yep.
He knows how to do Pokemon movies. He knows, the Pokemon movies were huge.
Yeah.
Beyond gamers. And he really did a good job at enforcing the Pokemon brand. So that's huge.
Yeah.
He explained that the goal, Kotaku says, of these movies is to spread Nintendo's IPs, and that while making games and game hardware is the company's core business, these movies will help the larger picture for more traditional advertising. Kotaku says, though, what about that Shigeru Miyamoto guy, the creative fellow? Will he be involved in the movies? According to Kimishima, quote, of course, end quote, Miyamoto will be involved, because for games he's worked with many other producers, helping them develop it. It sounds like movies and whatnot would be a logical extension of that, and we'll wait to see. It's also important to note that Miyamoto is no longer necessarily a game developer of Nintendo. He is simply the creative fellow. And so even with a lot of the recent games, like Platinum Games took the lead on Star Fox,
right?
And while Miyamoto advised for that, he wasn't the core developer of it. It was Platinum Games, and along with Nintendo. Same with Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Maker, Splatoon and stuff. Miyamoto was involved in all those products as a general supervisor or producer, but he wasn't developing those. We need to do a separate discussion one of these days on the whole Miyamoto thing. Yeah. Because there's so much discussion online about Miyamoto being a detriment to Nintendo. And we need to blow that out of the water one of these days. But that's for a different time.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. He'll be definitely involved. Kimishima says, of course, he's going to use him. He's the creative fellow of Nintendo. Right. And he is... if it's going to be a popular franchise of Nintendo, it's going to be a Miyamoto franchise. Because really almost, I think almost all Nintendo franchises are Miyamoto franchises.
Pretty much. And all of the ones that you would think of as if they're going to go with the Ratchet and Clank route or something like that, Miyamoto's franchises. Otherwise, you just have like really a Fire Emblem. Animal Crossing necessarily isn't a Miyamoto franchise. That is kind of the cute charm in children's, but I don't know. But they could definitely do an Animal Crossing movie where somebody just moves into town and but what would the plot to that? That would be interesting.
Paying off your debt to
yeah, it's such an everyday thing in the whole movie, but I'm sure it'd be something about it but what would it get to the climax and epic conclusion to
you pay off your house loan and you're finally free from the clutches
and you do that little dance thing
you have the cap and you have a whole good cast and so that's all the things we're going to keep all that in the back of our mind now as we move forward, and we're going to tackle the most popular, and by most popular we mean every single one, because they're all popular, right? Nintendo franchises, in no particular order.
There's no play like it.
There's no play like... I actually finally saw the logo that you were talking about when I was making the thumbnails. That looks legit. Yeah. And I think it confirms that there's going to be traditional buttons on the NX
and it's kind of cool. Did you see the GIF for it and how it kind of morphs into that? No. I thought it looked really nice.
I'll have to see the GIF. I just saw the picture. So... we're going to tackle each franchise series by series and ask ourselves, how could this work as a movie?